Okay, I'm going to do a short live stream about the mitochondrial maternal DNA line. This is very interesting. It's very intriguing, but it's really kind of strange, you might say. But it's interesting nonetheless and very significant. So let's go. Let's go ahead to the share screen here, and we will add here the. Let me see. Let's first go to this thing here. So we'll examine this mitochondrial DNA, right? This is the maternal line mtDNA haplogroups of the world, and we have. Well, before we do that, let's go to this map here. This map looks like an interesting map here, just to get an idea of exactly what what we're looking at here. So we have the Hamitic mitochondrial DNA, which is all L. Now, for some reason, it's all almost exclusively in Africa in ancient times. Then there's the N, which is all of these, basically Europe. Then there's M, which is basically Asia, with the exception of, remember, of course, they have the X coming over from Europe over to here to America, but actually went the other way, which I could explain later. And the X here, but the A and the B, the problem is the A and the B are not Asian. Okay, the C, the D, and the E. Let me see, the C, the D, and the G, the Y, and the F and the M. Well, the M is the M. Are well, I don't even know about the F, but anyways, we'll check here. We got to go back here to check this one here. We'll see what it is. Where's the F? See, the Asian is the M, so it's the C, the Z, the D, the G, the E, and the Q. That's it. The F is Semitic. The A and the B is Semitic from N. It's not necessarily in the R category, because there's an R category of the Semitic DNA, which is more the Jewish mtDNA, or the Jewish Semitic. In other words, there's an Asian mtDNA line set and a more, shall we say, Middle Eastern mtDNA. So there's an Asian Semitic DNA and a Middle Eastern mtDNA, which we can show here. And this other, let me see, and this other chart over here. Hold on a second. So I'll go back here. We'll go back over here. And, well, it shows it here. We've seen this map before, probably. And so it shows the M. Remember, the C, the Z, the G, the D, the E. This is the Asiatic mtDNA. And then there's the Semitic DNA, which is the N. But then they have it separated into two categories. The R is the Semitic, is the more Middle Eastern mtDNA, with the exception of the B. Apparently, the B took off and went to Asia. And the, I guess it was just a B. The A already was more the Semitic, the Asian mtDNA. the Asian Semitic, the Semitic mtDNA in Asia. So this everything here is the Semitic mtDNA in Asia. In other words, well, this is in Europe too, but that's another thing. But generally speaking, that's what it is. That's the line. That's the line of descendancy, anyways. So the B belongs to the B took off. The B took off went to Asia. So, but the rest of them here, you can see the H, the V, the J, the T, the U, and the R, and the F. Okay, keep in mind this part here, and of course that's blue. The blue, it's a different color blue, but it's, I don't know, I guess they're confused, I don't know. And of course we have the L, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here in Africa. And of course these other colors here are Asia. Okay, so with that in mind, we can then go to this chart here and understand that the H, the HV, the P, the J, the T, the U, the K. This is one line. This is like the Middle Eastern Semitic mitochondrial DNA. Now, the big problem here, or the big question here, would be if I can't do this. I can't zoom in on this. Won't let me zoom in. But anyways, I'll just have to do it another way, maybe. Doesn't work. Anyway. Okay, so this area here, you can see the colors here. Notice the colors. These light blue colors, the blue colors here is it's all Semitic mtDNA, including the greens and the yellows, and the the B purple is over here. But all these blues and even the greens and the yellows are Semitic mitochondrial DNA. So if you want to see an Asian mitochondrial DNA, you'd have to find a red. So there's a sliver of red up here as you go north and east. You can find a sliver of red and yellow or orange yellow, not bright yellow, because the bright yellow is still Semitic. But basically, this entire area here, including these areas which are very strongly R1b, which is the Asian R1by chromosome, basically the Celtic regions. All these Celtic regions here are like 100% or 95% actually mitochondrially Semitic mtDNA. And this green, of course, is N. Even in Portugal, I believe we've already looked at a map in Portugal. Okay, so yeah, we've probably already seen this map over here in Portugal. Where is it? If I can find it. Now it wants to disappear, I guess. Well, I'll just have to put Portugal in here. Not yet. Well, now it's being elusive. Anyways, here we have an idea here. I haven't seen that map there. It's being elusive now, the map. The map, whenever you want to find it, I guess, wants to be elusive. But I could go to my own maps, but let me look at this map first here. Seems like whenever, I don't know, whenever you're looking for something, the thing disappears somehow. Okay, so this, yeah, this is not even, oh, here we go. North Portugal, Central Portugal, South Portugal. Okay. So you will notice we have the H, the J, the L, the N, the T, the U, and the W. The H, the J, the L, the M, the N, the U, the W, the X. Remember, the X is still Semitic. And the W, the T, the L, the M, the J, the I, the H. This is all entirely Semitic. Of course, the L, where's the L? Yeah. The L is the African, of course. Oh, there's the M right there. See that little sliver of M? That's their Asian DNA. And then there's other. But that M, that little sliver of M, this little sliver of M here, and here, there, North Portugal, there's not even a sliver of M. But that's your Asian DNA there, the M, that little sliver. Everything else, the L, okay, this is the African. So this orange, these orange slices here, that's the African mitochondrial DNA. The rest is entirely Semitic. The reason why I'm looking at Portugal is because South Portugal is right across from Africa. The Straits of Gibraltar, it's directly across from Africa. So we would expect to see the L mitochondrial DNA there. And still, but the Asian mitochondrial DNA is almost non-existent, which is really interesting to me. Is like, because if the stories are true that the Jewish people went around here to Great Britain, then that would explain all this mitochondrial DNA. What happened to them is another thing, but the mitochondrial DNA remained, because remember, whenever there's a skirmish, it's the Y chromosome that suffers, and the mitochondrial DNA thrives. So back over here, you can see this map shows clearly that it's all Middle Eastern Semitic mitochondrial DNA, the entire Europe, all the way well up into Russia, well up into even Finland. You have the mitochondrial DNA, the Semitic mitochondrial DNA. And it's only when you get to the extreme north and more east that you get the Semitic D, which is this red. See this red right there, and the pink Z, and the red D. So the red D and the pink D is Asian, which is to be expected, but it's still rather kind of small, the amount of mitochondrial DNA. And of course, the M is this dark color here. Of course, in India's mitochondrially is about half or more than half mitochondrial Asian DNA. So we got the pink F. This F is still Semitic, the pink, still Semitic, but it's more the Asiatic Semitic mtDNA. The A and the B, which is the purple and the yellow, is in America, but it's the Asian Semitic mtDNA. But anyways, yeah, what I need to do now, I need to go back over here and find, I need to find a pie chart of the Jewish mitochondrial DNA to make a comparison. So we'll just pick the first one. This is Ashkenazi. This is okay. This is basic. Oh, this is Russian and Ukrainian. It doesn't matter. Okay. So here I have the H, the A, V, the J, the K. Remember, this L is African. The N, which is still Semitic. The T, the U, it's all Semitic. The W, other here, pre-HV. Okay. So that's almost entirely Semitic. The same signature. It's almost entirely the same signature. So, and remember, the K is common. The K, the T, and the J, and the H, and the V. Okay, collective Ashkenazi Jews. The H, the HV, the I, the J, the K. Again, the L and the M. See the sliver of the M? That's the sliver of the M, the N, the T, the U. Basically, and the X, and the W, and the U. It's almost basically entirely exactly the same thing. I'm just curious about as to where the W is. The W is right here, be the light green. So this light green here, the W, is common, or is a common signature of the Jewish mtDNA, because I keep seeing this W and wondering what it is. And the X, we've seen the X before. The X is also went to America, which is interesting study as well. What else we have here? This would be Polish Jews. There's the K, the huge K signature. So the K to me is significant. It's one of the people, just like the H and the HV. The K seems to be a specific person in the Jewish population. Okay, we did the collectibles. I think we did here's Romanian, same thing, K, huge signature. And Moroccan, K is a huge signature, and of course the H is always huge signature. So these are significant. It's probably Rachel and Leah, or don't want to get into the specifics too much, but it could be any one of the four wives of Jacob, or mothers of the 12 tribes of Israel. So we have some contenders. There's H, there's K, HV. Of course, Rachel and Leah were sisters, of course. So there's the HV, the H, the HV, and the J. So we have the J as a contender. The U seems to be a contender too, but the U seems to be Iraqi Jews, seems to be a more ancient line or something, but it's still significant. Oh, and a T. We have a T as well as a contender. Here we have the K, smaller, J, HV, and the T and the U. But this is, of course, all Semitic, and it's all what exists. There's the M is the Asian. Of course, Iraq is closer to Asia, so there's a larger Semitic mitochondrial DNA in the population. So, but this is all basically Jewish mtDNA, as far as I can tell. Unless somebody else can see something different, this is all the signature straight from the Jewish people, or you might say Israel too. Israel's the same thing; it's no different. Moroccan, Iraqi, American. Well, American is American, not Jewish. I guess we're getting away from the Jewish mtDNA now. Anyway, ancient DNA. Armenian. Okay, H, the U, the J, the HV, the K, the N, the I, the X, the W, R. Of course, this is just straight Armenian. I wanted to look at the American. Oh, that's Armenian. Armenian. Oh, I guess we don't have American. Anyway, get the idea. Probably spent enough time here. So, we got Dan Strait, Shalom, and Honesty Angel. So, it's amazing to me how strong. I mean, I would like somebody to explain this to me. Even in North Africa, look at North Africa. Majority mitochondrial Semitic DNA, which is understandable considering that Semitic is here in the Mediterranean trade and the Carthagins and all the whole history of the Mediterranean is understandable. But look at the percentages. Majority mitochondrial DNA, majority Semitic mitochondrial DNA, majority Semitic mitochondrial DNA, even with the green slivers, which tends to be more Asiatic mitochondrial DNA, but it's still Semitic. But it's only a quarter. In North Africa, it's only a quarter Hamitic mitochondrial DNA. Over here, it's less. Of course, Egypt, is even more a center of trade, but it's not even. It's not even a quarter percent of Hamitic mitochondrial DNA in Egypt. So it's more than three quarters Semitic mitochondrial DNA in Egypt. Somebody got to explain this to me. And of course, you can see the blue well into Asia here, as well. The blue is all mitochondrial DNA well into Asia, halfway through Asia. So there's something going on here that somebody's not explaining to me very well. You know, there is such a thing as the lost tribes of Israel. They were all in this area here. They were north of the Black Sea. They were to the east of the Caspian Sea. They were all over in this area, of course, in Europe. It's the lost tribes of Israel. This is the lost tribes of Israel right here in our face. It's the big elephant in the room. Even in North Africa, even in Western Asia, all the way through. This is Israel. This whole thing is Israel, this whole place. And of course, everywhere else in the world too, because they went all the way to America too. Because you have X, see this X, that's a huge percentage of the population. This pea green X is a huge percentage of the population. To me, that's a huge signal of the Phoenicians that went to America, as well as the K, the U. Now this purple thing is the P. Wait, or the J. I can't tell. I have to get a better map or something so I can tell what those are. But remember, even the A and the B in America, which is the yellow and the purple. So the yellow and the purple are Semitic, but they're not the Jewish signature Semitic mitochondrial DNA. It's the Semitic population or mtDNA that went to Asia, through Asia, and all the way to America, of course. Then the C and the D, which is the C and the D, the pink and the red. So the pink and the red is Asiatic. So down here at the tip, you have entirely almost 100% Asiatic. That's Asiatic, Asiatic, Asiatic. So the Asiatic is basically red, reddish, pinkish, whatever. Even the Q. And it's a little bit confusing because the E is yellow and the A is yellow, but it's a different yellow. And the G, there's a G here too, which is Asiatic. But this map clearly shows what Asia consists of, what Africa consists of, and what Europe consists of. And it's exact same percentages even of the Jewish populations everywhere in the world. So to me, that's a huge thing that not too many people are taking notice of or haven't seen yet. And for what it's worth, it probably doesn't matter that much anyway. But so that's about it. I don't waste any more time on this. I gotta go mail a package. So that's about it. God bless everybody. Take care. And Europeans are very Semitic. Like 95% plus Semitic Jewish mitochondrial DNA. Believe it or not, DNA doesn't lie. Tells the absolute truth. Okay, so God bless everybody. Take care. Stay close to God, and He will transform your life.